Previously on Gears.
All right, time to get into Disi's Double Ds on this Monday afternoon. As always, brought to us compliments of Red Bull Mobile and Cell C. Okay.
We are heading into the festive season, which means we're all going to be spending a lot of time on the roads. So today on Disi's Double Ds, we're looking at what the Lumar product does in terms of smash and grab attacks. We are joined in studio by Ian Flint to find out more about it.
Mr. Ian Flint.
Hi Ian, welcome to Gears on Balls Visual Radio.
Oh, there you are. How's it going, Ian?
Hi there, Sesh. Good to be here. Thank you.
Good to see you as always.
Okay, before we get into anything, can you explain to us exactly what smash and grab is, and is it very common in South Africa?
Yes, good one, Di. It's rather strange. You know, automotive film has been around for about almost 50 years, but it's only in the last 10 years that it's become famous, if you like, and synonymous in our country and known only in South Africa as smash and grab. The rest of the world refers to it as automotive film. So it's got its own generic name in South Africa. Good for us as a result, of course, but it's now become popular more for the smash and grab attack rather than the other benefits that it really has.
What are the other benefits?
Well, obviously, having a tint window film fitted to your car provides an element of keeping the car a lot cooler. It has a 99% UV protection, so almost no sunburn at all. And perhaps one that you don't often think about is that in the event of an accident, the side windows are very likely to shatter, and that shattered glass shards can cause quite a lot of damage to obviously the driver and or passengers in the car. And it's very interesting to note that in Australia they actually sell a lot more window film than we do, and they don't have smash and grabs. So it's really for the benefit of UV and for having, you know, in the event of an accident, that they sell it for rather than what we in fact sell it for, and we sort of often forget about the other benefits.
I actually saw that it's recognized by one of the cancer organizations, as a cancer to prevent cancer. And I must say, when I'm driving in my car, I burn through my windscreen and my windows. I get home and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, but that's because you've got the sunroof open.
No, it's not.
It's because you're tanning topless.
Oh, yeah, I'm rocking the streets in my Fiat 500 topless. When it comes to the film thickness, are they different? Is there like a variety of thickness? Can you choose from different ones?
Yes, the film comes in different micron thicknesses. And the sort of standard micron of 100 micron is what's fitted normally in South Africa. One can ask for a thicker film, 150 micron, which offers a bigger element of protection in the event of a smash and grab, but you can go right up to almost a 375 micron film, which is fitted primarily to flat windows for banks and those kinds of things. So whilst it's not bulletproof, there is an element of security from that perspective. But 100 micron thickness is a kind of obvious thickness that one would require for a smash and grab protected event here in South Africa.
Ian, how many products like this are there available? And, you know, if somebody, let's say a student, somebody, you know, new, getting their first second-hand car, now wants to try and get a little bit of protection or whatever, how do they know if they're getting the right product? Are there right and wrong products out there in the market?
Actually, good point. The Lumar is known as the world beta, as it were. Probably 60% of the world's film is Lumar.
Okay.
But there are a number of cheaper versions out there, Chinese, Korean, Israeli type films, which some are not bad at all. It's purely a case of ensuring or making sure that when you do have film fitted that you are getting that 100 micron and not a thinner type film. For example, a thinner type film they fit to the back window, and that's a 50 micron film, and that's purely to match the tint of the side windows. So if you're having a 50 or a 35% tint on the side window, you need a matching tint on the back window so that it doesn't look rather odd on your motor car. So The important thing to answer your question, Sasha, is the fact that yes, you need to ensure that there's a minimum of 100 micron thickness to provide the protection you require.
All right. Now we've heard some interesting things. In Australia, most of the time they're using it for UV. They're looking at more of the benefits that if the glass does shatter, that it basically stays together. Because of the film itself.
Right.
In South Africa, we unfortunately have hijacking and smash and grab issues with us. And you brought in something, an instrument that is widely used in these smash and grab attempts. Tell us a little bit what it is and how it is used for people to try and get into your car easily.
Well, you've often heard that the type of instrument used primarily in the smash and grab attacks is a spark plug, a common or garden spark plug.
Yeah.
Now, it is in fact a spark plug, but not the spark plug like I'm holding in my hand here at the moment. This would be very difficult to use to, in actual fact, break a window. If I were to hold it in my hand and try and break a window, strangely enough, is pretty difficult to break if you haven't got the right instrument. So the spark plug itself is not the instrument that is used. What they do is that they break the ceramic part on the top into hundreds of little pieces, almost the size of one small nail.
Yeah.
And by walking along on the highway and stopped at a robot and noticing that this would be an interesting car in which to get inside, they merely remove a piece of this ceramic and gently throw it against the window, and it shatters immediately.
That's
Incredible.
crazy.
And once it shatters, because it shatters, it's very easy to push in, and, and the likelihood of actually even getting cut is very little. So one just shatters, pushes in, and within seconds, we do many demos showing how this actually works, and within 3 or 4 seconds, you're out of there with whatever is in that motor car. So by simply throwing, and not a big force, this piece of
It's incredible.
ceramic against the window, it shatters into hundreds of pieces.
Yeah.
All right. Now, got a good question here that's coming. If you've bought a car, let's say secondhand, or you're going somewhere and you say, okay, yes, I want the window tint, etc., etc. Now, this is the first time I'm hearing of a product, Lumar. Okay, because I've got window tints on my car, whatever, but I just sit there and leave it up to the dealer or whoever it is to do it for me. How do I know if I'm at that minimum 100 micron or if I've got something that maybe is inferior? Is there any way that I can tell?
Excellent question. Since, there are a number of some suspect films out there, Lumar, because of the sort of well-known product around the world today, we've gone ahead and got a lot of OEM approvals from many of the manufacturers, together with many of them, the dealer groups out there. And some of the things that Lumar have actually done is to actually mark the film, and not the backing of the film, but the actual film itself, with a code which will indicate the actual micron thickness and also the actual tint color. So you would get a PS4 35%, which would indicate that is in fact 100 micron and a 35% tint that you're getting. And that would be delivered by the dealer to first of all by the fitter to the dealer, and then from the dealer to the customer, and then the customer simply would remove that with some spirits and it comes off.
All right, now I'm sitting at the traffic light and I've got the film on. All right, so my windows are protected, the windows are closed or whatever. Somebody throws the ceramic and the window shatters or attempts to shatter or whatever. How is Lumar helping me?
Right. I think one needs to understand that having smash and grab film fitted is not a complete way of stopping a smash and grab done. But what the film will do is in fact buy you time to get out of that situation as a driver. The glass is most likely to shatter eventually, whether they use a hammer or a brick or even the ceramic.
Yeah.
But once it's shattered, one would still need a lot of effort to actually get into the car. One would have to cut that film somehow or other, either by sticking in a knife or some object of that sort. And you would find that it's rather difficult to actually get in, and then manage to take whatever they want. So it's buying the driver the time to move out of that sort of situation to get to a place of safety.
Cool.
Price-wise, what are you looking at?
Price-wise differs from dealer to dealer. If one buys a new car, obviously the price is added to the price of the car, and one doesn't really sit and go into detail. But you're looking at anything from about 2,000 Rand to 3,500 Rand, depending on the micron thickness and depending on the vehicle, whether it being a small, medium, large, or even a van of sorts. And then if one were to go direct to a fitment machine, or fitment center rather, you'd probably get around about 1,500 Rand or thereabouts. So it's quite affordable in terms of the benefit.
No, of course. I'm still surprised there are a lot of people who still don't do it. Besides the protection factor, also it blocks out people's vision to see what's in the car. So
Exactly.
It's got various different uses as well. So
we're probably selling to about 80% of all new cars sold today have smash and grab film fitted. So
That's
it's
good.
become a lot. It's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, of
and
course.
especially if you have a wife and kids driving around in a car, it's really of paramount importance that you have that kind of protection at least, because very often a smash and grabber would notice the fact that there is film fitted to the car and would probably, as a result,
move away,
from
try
it.
and find somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
One more question. Is there a legal limit when it comes to the tinting as to how dark it can be?
Right, good question.
That's a great question.
You often see some vehicles where you virtually can't even see inside. The CSIR have a limit, a legal limit of 35%. That means 35% of light is actually allowed in, all right? The other common percentage is at a 50%, where 50% of light is allowed in. So anything darker than 35% on the driver and passenger vehicles is the actual legal limit. Anything behind, or the back windows, you can, if necessary. A lot of buckies and canopies have a darker tint fitted to them, so that is permissible. But the actual driver window and passenger window needs a limit of 35%.
A great question from our very good friend Ernie, all the way in Canada, says, is there a risk involved in this 100 micron tint if one were in a crash and unable to escape from the vehicle?
It's a good question. We have, in fact, spent some time with the emergency services, and they do say that if the window smashes, it's quite easy to eventually get in there. They feel the benefit of the actual driver not getting damaged through flying glass is of more benefit to the actual driver of the vehicle.
All right,
So whilst they understand this film, it's not totally impenetrable. They can get in there, but it does, of course, provide the other benefit of not being injured through flying glass shards.
Excellent. Brilliant stuff, Ian. Thanks for very, very insightful. That's for sure. I learned a lot about that.
You're welcome.
From a product that I have in my car, but I didn't really know that much about it.
Okay, if people don't have this, Lumar is obviously the way to go. A contact number?
Welcome to go into the Lumar webpage, or if they wish to call me, they're welcome on 082 5555 828, and I can always refer them to a authorised fitment centre.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Thank
Ian,
you.
thanks. Great to see you, and we wish you well, and let's make sure that more of our cars have smash and grab Luma tint, but let's hope that we don't have more issues of smash and grabs.
Welcome.
Let's put it that way.
You're welcome. Thanks, Sasha.
All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks very much.
Beautiful people, beautiful people. Don't you know, don't you know? Oh, beautiful, don't you know? No, no. Live your life, live your life.
Believe. Cell C. The power is in your hands.
Gearsonballs.co.za. Weekdays 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.